Hello. I promised a video in English, and it would make more sense for me to speak in English because it's um the only language I know properly, even though I choose to use it improperly. I'm gonna try real hard to use my nice words because it's been one hell of a ride. Um so what my previous video, I think there was only one, right? Um I've gone into quasi hibernation because I don't know how to not just not be an empath. Fine, be an empath. Love all the people. Get all up and cozy in their emotions and problems and everything. But I don't know how to not have them fucking drain me. Like to nothing. To have like not one drop of emotional, psychological, or even physical blood left in my body. So um all y'all bloodsuckers can fuck off. Mm. Yeah, I'm not using my nice words. Um, I became COVID positive. Well, I found out I was COVID positive December 2nd. Um, I'm umming a lot. I'm forgetting the English language because I don't use it. When I do use it, it's for translating not normal conversational uh, events. And I realized that I completely shut down my immune system by worrying about shit that should not be worried about and dealing with people that shouldn't be dealt with and listening to things that shouldn't be listened to and taking it all to heart and integrating it fully into my existence. And yeah. So not only I became COVID positive, my entire house did. My son did first, and that's because we've been doing homeschooling. All of the memes and all of the posts regarding homeschooling are almost 100% positive. That's fucking bullshit. And it's psychotic. And who gives a shit what grades they get? They're supposed to be kids that are happy, having a nice childhood, not thinking about whether, I don't know, which homework assignment was turned in through Google Classrooms and whatnot. I mean, they do. You need to have responsibility. But to that level, I never cared about grades. I always had decent grades. I didn't have to care about grades. I never cared what grades my kids got. I wanted my first purpose, um, my first purpose for my kids. I want my kids to be happy. I want them to have their own ambitions. I want them to be proud of themselves. I don't give a shit what their grades are. And suddenly I cared about what their grades, what my son's grades are. And so did he. And it was upsetting. He was so, we were both like at our wits' ends. I hate school. He hates school. So why do we even care? Do not let your kid listen to this. I mean, my kids listen to this. They know this is where we're at. And the only issue with school is we still live in a world where grades in school matter. So I mean, I think I explained it. It's a social skill. Grades don't mean you know anything. Grades mean that you chewed up the information and spit it back out in a way that's acceptable for to be graded. And I'm sorry if like any teachers get upset about this, but that's the way I see it. It doesn't mean the kids know anything. I know you guys' job is heinous. and all of your authority has been taken away. But my kid's the one that's, no, he's a good kid. He has a big heart. He's a good human. He knows math. He knows how to read. He learned, well, they don't call it biology here. They have a fancy name for it. How do I translate природа и дружество? Nature and society, I guess. It would be like social sciences combined with natural sciences. That's how they do it here until the 5th grade, I think. And then they suddenly get chemistry, biology, fit like much earlier than we do in the States. Or we did in the States. I don't know how it is now. Yeah, and I just don't like people right now. Not I don't like them. I love people to death. I just don't know what to do with them anymore. And I still got people to this day, after I explain, like, I need to, like, not have contact, human contact. And I really do. I'm drained. I'm recording this laying in bed, which actually feels quite nice if we really want to know. But my bed's made. I just had to get back in it because a wonderful byproduct, is that how we call it? No, I'm forgetting English. A wonderful I forgot English. I'll Google Translate it later, but something that's left over from COVID is I can sleep in any position, standing, sitting, driving, and I have almost no control over it. Like if I'm tired, and tired hits out of nowhere. It just hits. So suddenly you're sitting, and I mean, it may be my age also, but it happened to happen directly after being, actually, not directly after being, not immediately after being uh, tested COVID positive, but one of my family tested COVID positive. I mean, the whole time I slept through COVID. It was actually quite nice. Um, I always said I haven't slept. I haven't had. I haven't had decent sleep since Milica was born, and yeah, I still stand by that decision and those words. Oh, church bells. That means I'm saying some good stuff. Um, thank you God for the sign. But yeah, my body needs sleep, rest that I haven't had in, how old is my kid? She's gonna be 21. Damn. In 21 years, I haven't had a good rest. 2016 I did. That was after Marina was born, my youngest, and I spent a lot of time with myself and my kids, and I learned a lot about myself. And I'm a pretty freaking cool person. I know I'm a good human being. I know I'm an asshole too, don't worry about that. And I know I directly plan when I want to be an asshole. And if anybody gets my mean words and my bad words or whatever, if you get my peace of mind, you can be pretty damn sure that you're not a good fucking human being at that moment. Or you did something to piss me off or to get on my, it's actually not hard to get on my bad side. Just rarely anybody knows it because if you're on my bad side, you're not worth knowing you're at my bad side. Um that didn't sound good, did it? I don't give a shit. But yeah, if you've managed to like disappointing me, That shouldn't be anybody's problem. Upsetting me, it's not that any of it should be anybody's problem, but if you did it, especially me, I have like understanding for like everybody. Like I can even see the understanding in like serial killers and shit. That's kind of bad. But it's gotten to a point where like, I don't know. I can't say everybody takes it for granted. We take a lot of stuff for granted. We take for granted. I'm laying in bed recording on some kind of a contraption that like sends messages all over the world, you know, to people that I haven't seen in years, and I should be sending them love. I'm sending all of you all love and happiness. But this is a luxury. This is a luxury. Eating good food is a luxury. And we take it all for granted. We take for granted the people that are around us. Like the good people that are around us. And I realize now, since I've gone into hibernation, how many good people I have around me. And thank you, Jesus, Mary, Joseph, universe, God, Mohanji, everybody, for all the good people I have around me. I knew they were all good, but they've stayed good. Where there's people that are good, but they're still at a level of existence where they're needy and not understanding, and they don't care about other people's decisions. And, I'm rambling now and I don't give a shit. This is gonna stay somewhere in the ether, and my kids will see it one day, and that's the whole point of everything I put out anyway, is to leave something for them. Because, if I had my grandmother's voice recorded anywhere, I have one recording of my grandmother's voice. It's at my wedding. My only wedding that I had. I got married twice and divorced twice. Happily. Um, and it's just this faint recording of her voice because she didn't want to take the microphone. And I just found the DVD again recently, and I'm afraid to listen to it because that's something that I miss the most, is hearing her voice like next to me. I can hear in my head all the time. Most of the time she's swearing at me and telling me that, get my shit together in a different way. But and how much she loves me. But yeah, I want my kids to be able to, if they want to, if I end up leaving a good imprint, to be able to hear my voice. And yeah, there's people that are like still, technically they're my mirror. Anything we see in another human being that we don't like is a mirror of something that about ourselves we don't like. Um and I've realized a lot, like, I'm still conditioned by what my grandmother was always like, this is your life and you gotta deal with it. You can't you can't crawl out of the skin. So you better find a fucking way to make it all happy. Cause if you're gonna be upset all the time, you're wasting this moment. And that's true. Like we had lots of ups and downs. And my parents, especially my mother, she had to work. She had to work her ass off so she could provide it, because Mickey was not providing. Providing lots of how should I call that? Lots of interesting moments. But he provided most of the bars. He supported their cause. So my mother had to be at work like a lot. And so it was me and my grandmother at home dealing with each other. And shit, we hated each other sometimes. Not sometimes, a lot of the time. I was like, I remember I hit the shit at the because you couldn't say words to Baba. Because, yeah, you'd get your face rearranged. But the shit that went through my head, And later on, she's like, "You think I didn't know shit that?" She goes, "You think I thought nicely of you too?" So that made me actually feel real good because you can. I'm all about if my kids, if any of my kids have the urge to tell me to fuck off, that I'm a bitch or whatever, they should, because that's their emotion and they need to own it and they need to get through it. Because otherwise, you're like holding it inside and it's like in your head, you're going, "I want to strangle this fucking hoe," and on the outside, you're trying to smile, and it ain't working. That's just that's twisted. That's really twisted. That people to this day want their kids to not experience their thoughts and emotions. Um, and not only kids, but like we don't want, like, right now. There's a couple of people that they're like, "But I call you and you're supposed to answer. I'm not hung on a freaking hook next to the door, or like next to the oven, freaking wooden spoon, so you can just pick me up and use me whenever needed." And like, I mistakenly made myself that way. I was always available for everybody. And I stopped being available for myself. Like, I thought I was getting me time in, but that wasn't good quality me time. That was just like me time to be able to surf the low tide, barely, barely. And yeah, it took a 5-letter virus to whip my ass a little bit, and a couple of good Baba dreams to realign myself real quick. Got my chakras in alignment. Actually, I didn't. They're like all shut down and shit. Um, Not all of them, but all the ones like relating to other human beings, solar plexus. Yeah, not working. That's how we gain weight too. So I actually having I lost. I don't know how many pounds is 24 kilos. So it's 24 times 2.2, 48 and 48. So that's, I've gained from March to, I don't remember how long shutdown was. May? March to May. I gained 52 pounds. And I love all of them right now because they're keeping me warm. Because cold season is here and I live in a rented house. It's a nice house, but we have wooden windows, and there's this wind, wind, I don't know, a current in Belgrade. It's called the Košava current, and it hits every once in a while. And I don't know, there's people say that it either blows 3, 5, 7, maybe 9 days, odd number. And when it blows, I have like a tornado going through my house. And they don't have. So ever since I came here from America, there's, if I miss. Yesterday I realized I missed one thing from the States. That's comfortable cars. Like, I need a 89, 88 Lincoln something here to put my fat ass in, and for like to be able to drive for hours without anything hurting. That also may be my birth year fucking with me, but I prefer to think that it's the uncomfortable car. So, yeah. But here they pay registration by how many um by your engine size. So if you have a 5.0, you're going to be paying like $5,000 a year for your car registration. You got a 2.0 and you pay, let me convert to dollars. You pay like, if you don't need new plates or any changes, you pay like $330 a year for registration. And no vanity plate. vanity plates just by themselves the first time you see here. So you buy your plates and they're yours to keep forever, whatever. So vanity plates are like $800, $880. And then registration is dependent on your engine size. So yeah, unless I would like find a semi-legal way to drive a 5.0 hoopty Lincoln, my back gonna be hurting. But speaking now in English and thinking, the one other thing I miss from the States is, which that's not something that's in the States. That's because we have a larger population in the States and you can like find a lot more people, I guess, understanding, and people that are similar in thought and likes, interests. Look, I'm not new age. I don't think I'm new age. Maybe I am. No, I'm not. And that's like so if they call everything a cult here. They don't realize they're a cult. Like you follow, I'm going to be very persnickety about this. I'm very proud of the people that support good causes. And I understand the people that vehemently support certain political views and whatnot. When you start putting down anybody that's not of the same thought system, you're an ass. And stop it, because that's just retarded. Every politician is on this world to use humans that are beneath them, their constituents, to gain. And don't be a sheep, please, because I think that all of us know that we're on this planet to make it a better place. You can't make it a better place if you're putting other people down. So fucking stop it. And like stop hating, putting down people that are, I don't know, that believe in God or believe in whatever, and believe in Biden, believe in Trump, believe in Vucic, believe in Kurcic, believe in, I don't know. It's ridiculous. And y'all need to stop doing that and like support each other. I mean, we're always gonna have. I'm an idiot. Like I do crazy, stupid ass things. I stay stupid ass things. It's part of being a human. It's part of the whole human existence situation. We chose to be here together to like learn from each other. So you don't like what somebody thinks and you can't deal with it, move. Like you're in their space as much as they're in your space. Like agree to disagree, or agree to not have contact, or stop wasting energy on stupid shit. Yeah, and politics are stupid shit. I mean, stupid shit. They're just another method of like controlling the population. Here, you're not gonna notice that like, you're not living to your fullest potential because you're going to be wildly discriminating against the other political party and what somebody said. I don't know. I mean, I have certain political views. I don't think they're worth talking about. It's just something that I think about sometimes because I got other shit to think about. Like, you know, making this world a better place in some kind of way. Who can I help next? What can I do to like teach my kids humility and understanding, and make sure I'm leaving something behind me that's going to be good to itself and to the population at large. I don't give a shit what Trump said, or Biden, or Vucic. All they do is like screw with us and taxes and here, give me some money and take away some money. Look, it's not good anywhere right now. Like, look at the world. I mean, everybody. I'm lucky I have friends in a lot of countries, and we're all entrepreneurs, and we're all dug in a deep hole right now, and we'll get out of it. I haven't had to rely on somebody giving me a paycheck in a long time. Like, I give myself my paychecks, and lately there haven't been many paychecks. And it's been rough, but we hustle and we get cash in however we can, and then you go spending like a fiend. I've never known how to save. I don't think I ever will. I don't think I want to either. Um, I know a couple people that are like big savers, and it's like, okay, this money's to the side, and no matter what happens, I'm not touching it. And it's like, your kids all have mental issues. You have like shit tons of everything, but you live like a very poor, like emotionally, spiritually, and like poor. That's even below poor, like poverty level of emotional, of love, of like unconditional love, and it's sad. And I would rather be hungry than emotionally poor. Or maybe it's emotional unintelligent. No. And then I know people that are savers that are like well rounded, and I look up to them. If I've learned one thing, if I've learned anything from my grandmother, you want to succeed, you ask the people that already succeeded. You don't look at the people that don't live the way you want to live. Um, so if you want to be an excellent drug dealer, you look at the ones that are doing it right. Um, and that was those were Baba's words at one point, because I was a teenager and I was a dickhead, and I wasn't on drugs. We didn't have money for that. But I had a mouth on me, and I was not speaking nice. And I got whooped upside the head on top of it. But um I had a friend who was vividly into illegal substances, some of which are now legal, and I agree with that. Um and she had actually told him, she didn't tell me, but she was telling him, she's like, you want to do drugs and you want to sell drugs. You look at the people that are doing it, they haven't gotten caught, that have been doing it for years, and they do it well. Um but be well aware of some of those drugs, you're killing people, so it's not a good thing. So choose wisely. And when I was little, she would always say, you want to grow a good garden, you go ask the person that has the biggest garden, the nicest garden, how they did it. And if you're lucky, they'll tell you. If not, you got to sit to the side and watch a couple years, or at least 1 year, and see what they did. Make sure you take good notes, and then get your ass up and do. Um, there's not that there's something that I miss from the States. There's much, maybe it's the same there now, I don't know. there's much less people that I can look at and be like, yeah, that's the success that's the kind of lifestyle I see as successful. I got like quasi bags under my eyes that are smooth. I got one of those facial roller things. I don't use it. I don't even know where it is. But yeah, so in 30 minutes and 30 seconds at this point, that's, I don't know, my Serbian video was like 13 minutes. But this is everything I've been wanting, I guess, to say to the stateside people. No, it's everything I've been wanting to say to myself, to hear myself, my own words, maybe align them in a better way and leave them for my kids. If that was aligned, everything I just said, yeah, then we're in trouble. Um, there's less and less humans to talk to that actually not even talk. There's less and less humans to be quiet with. Here. Actually, I've heard in the States too. And if you can't spend time with yourself alone, how the hell are other people gonna spend time with you alone? You know? If you don't like being with yourself, why are other people gonna like being with you? Or if you're like needy and you need other people, you can't find your self-worth in other people. I still do that. Like, I get upset. I react. I don't get really upset, but I like have a reaction in my body, which, see, I haven't gotten all through all those emotions yet. Like, when family criticizes me, I can crawl out of my skin. Like, I want to like maim them. And which we had a recall healing class. Gilbert, Gilbert Renaud, Renaud. See, when they say names in Serbian, it's so not the name sometimes. Um, but it's a method called recall healing. You type it in Google, it'll come up, and it's all current illnesses or diagnoses a human has is related to previous emotional or psychological or even physical trauma, but not in the way that we um, generally think about it. In our lives during conception and uh, pregnancy, and even related to previous generations, which makes sense. Our DNA carries lots and lots and lots of information, including all traumas, emotions, and all that great stuff from previous generations, all the wars we had, and all that good stuff. So he had said it he had three seminars here in Belgrade, and at the first one he's like, you go to a Tony Robbins um what are his events called? I can't remember. But you go to a Tony Robbins event and you're like all pumped up and everything's great. And then you come home. He goes, why do you not succeed afterwards? And everybody was quiet. He's like, because you come home to your family. And your family, um, keep, they dependent on your family, I guess. But they only know you from their perspective. They don't know you how other people know you. And they want to keep you at that perspective because otherwise they don't know who you are. And it's upsetting that, you think that you know your son, daughter, mother, father, whoever, and that's not the human that you thought they were. And yeah, they bring out the worst of you, and that's freaking true. Um, it's true. So I guess, and I have realized that there's people I know, they don't have kids, and they don't have like their primary parents and stuff like that. Um, they manage, from where I'm standing and looking at them, they manage to like make big changes really fast and make it permanent because they don't have anybody dragging them down. Is that even nice to say? Do I care if it's nice to say? I don't. But yeah, they don't have the same blockages as people with families do. Oh, that's not nice. That's not a revelation either. I mean, I always said, oh, my dear, my best friend, my Yelena, we sometimes have conversations about, we both have 3 kids, and it's a ride, but it's a ride you chose, and sometimes I don't have the most understanding when people that don't have children, when, like, I'm a Virgo. I got a schedule. My Google Calendar is marked, like, sometimes to the point of sit down and do nothing. It hasn't been in a while. Google, it's still running, like I still mark things in there, but I haven't been strict to it because I'm freaking tired. And I spend a lot of time doing nothing, which actually it's sleeping, or like I'm in a meditative state, because otherwise I wouldn't be able to even speak. Um, but yeah, my calendar from 6, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., there's no breaks, there's no coffees, there's no going out to eat. There is, but it's tightly scheduled. And when somebody's like, oh shit, they did 3 things. 3. Shit, I'm so tired. I'm going from, like, when Marina was a baby, my day would start at 5:30, and I bathe the baby, then I bathe the middle child. I wake up the oldest, which is hell, to get up and go bathe, and then I go bathe my father, and then goes feedings for all of the aforementioned. Oh, forgot about getting dressed and stuff, like all that. And when my hands aren't in water, they're like, one hand is on a child, the other hand is on a phone, um, replying to mails and scheduling, doing the logistics for my work partner at that time because I wasn't going to work. I was doing everything from home. Um, and then starts, if kids went to daycare, because I had to go somewhere for some kind of schedule. And during that time, my father, my father, my daddy, um, yeah. So it took, what year was that? 2016. He was 76. So after 76 years of age, they realized that a good portion of his frontal cortex was not there. And he was probably born that way. But since my father consumed alcohol from a very young age, they just always assumed that Mickey was a crazy alcoholic gypsy musician. Um, yeah. So yeah, when he did lots of strange things. And he never understood that, like, some things are bad. Like, you shouldn't have relations with other people's wives. And he never stole. Like, he never did that kind of stuff. Like, stealing and stuff, no. But emotional relationships with people that he shouldn't have had them. Oh yeah, he did that. He did that a lot. And there were some crazy things that he did where he would be like, but I'm doing this all for you. And I'm going, would you stop doing it for me? Because that's crazy. Like, normal people don't do these things. And then I realized it's because he didn't have the capacity to actually differentiate what's good and what's not. And that actually made me feel much better, because I was like, oh, he was mentally incapacitated in that manner. And just nobody, for 76 years, nobody ever thought to look at his head. And I'm sure consuming all that he consumed a lot of alcohol. Lots. That probably didn't help. But he as I mean, it's funny for me to say that he's like incapacitated, because shit, he drove cars, he fixed cars, he had perfect tone for playing almost any instrument, singing and whatnot. Um, he emotionally, he was uh, really. I mean, he was an empath in his own ways. He still did crazy shit to people that didn't make sense, but and he didn't feel bad for it. He didn't see the reason to feel bad for it. He would feel bad for other things. Like, he would feel bad for, like, somebody that's in pain. He would be in pain with them. And I would have to take him with me to every meeting and stuff I had, because he didn't understand that he couldn't go with me. And yeah, so if I didn't have already, because I had one kid going to school, so if I didn't already two kids with me coming to a meeting, I have two kids and a father going with me to a meeting, and taking them to the store with me and doing everything with them. And that was always like, that's not just you walk in and you walk out and you're done. And meetings with them, so you have to have packed, like, the amusement bag, which with a 70 something year old man, a 5-year old, and like a 1-year old, your bag is full of fun. And yeah. And every 5 minutes, 10 minutes, you're walking out of a meeting to check to make sure nobody's maiming anybody. Oh, and then having like the potty chair and the walker, and like two walkers, baby walker and the daddy walker, um with you at all times. And that's like until 11 a.m. And then going to like different, because we work a lot with the government, going to all the ministries, going to all this other shit to get shit done with them in the car or with me or anything, while my cousin and my work partner are off in another city trying to get new new organizations made. And I won't get into everything we do. We work with we most we worked with margin we still work with marginalized groups, mostly war veterans, and it's rough. It's rough because I think in every country it's a group of constituents that nobody looks at properly. But you do what you can do to help. And that's what I mean when you do do things to make the world a better place. So at one point we figured out like PTSD is still not a recognized diagnosis here for war veterans to be able to collect any kind of government help like welfare, um and when the government does give money to like uh for project financing through project ac- activities, um it's always about some kind of education. And at one point you realize you're not going to be able to educate somebody that's psychologically well beyond any all levels of stress and anything that looks like remote well-being. And so we directed our energies into younger generations and teaching them how not to be uh war veterans. One of our projects that's forever ongoing is um Let's Let War Forever Stay a Game, and we have two board games that a war veteran, um, a colleague of ours, a worker of ours, he created it because he became a invalid at the age of 18 in the Balkan Wars in the 90s, early 90s. And he finished college, he got married, he has a son that goes to school with my daughter, goes to college with my daughter. Um, and he got the ideas for these games within those years of being an invalid and working his ass off for his rights and other people's rights. And so we have two board games that are based on actual historical events, and we go around the country and do tournaments with kids. And one game is for older kids, one game is for younger kids, and we have puzzles for like the younger generations. And the winners get to keep a copy of the game, and they actually learn pieces of history while they're playing. And we've done lots of publications. Um, we've done we mostly do the tournaments. Actually, this year we did a lot of publications because it was COVID, so we couldn't go anywhere. We couldn't do anything. But when we can, we did lots of which I like graphic colonies with kids, where the kids actually draw and make do etching in metal or linoleum, and they make prints of it, and it's all theme based, and you get to see, I mean, kids learn something, and you can't help everybody. Well, you can, but you have to start with yourself. And once, oh, didn't that sound so ugh deep? Whatever. But you do. If you're not changing yourself, if you're not making yourself a better human, you can't help other people. And once you make yourself a better human, which is a forever job, I figured that out. Like, shit. Baba, she died at 92. She was like working on herself until a couple months before then. Like, she would always be learning something new and reading and trying to understand something. And for a woman that didn't finish a day of school, she self learned a lot from. She taught herself how to read English. She would read my mail. Got a letter from Normandy, my high school, saying that I owed money for something. She opened it and read it, and she's like, "Why you owe the school money? Why are you reading my mail?" She goes, "I don't know how to read English." Like, bullshit. Read my mail. Oh, I miss her. And the mail reading. Her way of doing it. Um, and she touched a lot of us. Anybody that came through that house heard something, some kind of words of wisdom, or felt better, or laughed, or anything to make their day better. Sometimes she opened a can of whoop ass on us, and we deserved it every single time. Every single time. Um, but just her existing made the world a better place. I don't know if my existing is making the world a better place right now. And that's why I'm in hibernation, away from fucking humans. Um, with my kids and my family. Just reminding myself who I am and why I'm here. And my kids are on their feet now. So, actually, I'm not going to do anything. I'm still going to lay in bed. Because my legs are swollen, and that's another side effect. Side effect. Side effects from, that's the word I couldn't remember that I said I was going to Google try. Side effects. Um, see, my brain still works. Not always. But yeah, another corona side effect next to like narcolepsy is edema. My entire body is swollen. My face, actually today it's not. I gained 52 pounds. I'm PHAT fat, okay? And this double chin and shit. I had that when I was freaking 120 pounds a couple years ago. I remember looking at my face going like, so I look like a skeleton, but my double chin is still there. Yeah, that probably needs like ultrasonic lifting and shit. That ain't gonna happen. Um, so yeah, today to try to get the swelling down, I'm gonna lay horizontal. My feet should probably be above my heart. That ain't gonna happen right now. I can't. Not dealing. So that's probably everything I had to say. It's not everything I have to say. But I've been speaking for 52 minutes in the English language. I'm pretty proud of myself right now. Because it's usually Serblish, not English. My apologies to my dear only English speaking friends. I think about you guys actually a lot. Some people more than others. Hearts and comments and shit you leave makes me feel good because yous are still there. And yeah, that's another thing. Like I'm weird. I'm a Virgo and I'm weird as it is. Like I only like to leave hearts on the Facebook stuff because if it's not a heart, you shouldn't be leaving anything. You know what I mean? Or the heart with a hug. Okay, the laugh thing, yeah, for like something that's funny. I hate like if I comment on something during these times, that's like something extra really special that I think needed extra attention. This is the first year, so this is what kind of asshole I am. Like I would by December 29th, 30th, because you got an Android phone, you have that schedule option like to like write out SMS and be able to schedule it. So no later than the 30th would I have all of my SMSs scheduled for the 30, like for New Year, for 0000 January 1st, the next year. And it's just so I would make sure that I didn't skip anybody, so that everybody would know that I'm thinking of them. And like, I would get upset with myself if I would forget somebody, or like I would like go through. I have over 3,000 people in my phone book, like because of work, because of everything. And I would go through every, actually, no, I reduced it to 2,500 something. Regardless, it's a lot. And like I would go through every single name multiple times to make sure I didn't skip somebody that I thought should really get a message. And even people in the States. And like, this is the first year I did not send one message. And you know what? I didn't get a message. And which I'm actually really like, happy. Um no, I lie. I got one message from somebody I haven't had contact with in a while. Which I look at it, I put out there in Serbian that I don't want human contact, and people respected me. Um but like my cousin's like, yeah, but nobody thought of you. I'm like, that's good. That's excellent. I mean, well, stateside people, a lot of people sent messages. I'm lying now. Stateside people did send me messages on Viber and Messenger and stuff like that. And which is allowed, allowed, listen to me, I'm an asshole. Which I'm touched because, people thought about me. People remembered me or whatever. Um, and I know a lot of people, that's, do things with awareness. Awareness. I learned that from, so my guru, my master, his name is Mohanji, and I throw out his stuff on the net. And I read his book in 2016, The Power of Purity, where, and I always, you all know I like repeating myself. So one of his answers to somebody's question, I think the question was, how do you decide what's good, what's bad? Like, how do you decipher right from wrong? And he's like, that's not my job. Like, good and bad, right and wrong, that's relative to a personal experience or personal existence. And he said, he doesn't eat meat because he lives a life of um nonviolence, of love, and that's not in alignment with the way he lives. But there were holy people, um saints, that did eat meat, but they did it with awareness. Where if you're aware that a if if you can be fully aware that a living being went through church bells, went through an amazing amount of terror, pain, and just horrifying things to satiate your want for meat and be okay with it, then eat meat. Um, I can't. I've I stopped eating. The first time I stopped eating meat was 2013. And I was never, like, the only reason I was a meat eater is because I was forever anemic. And yeah, eat meat, eat meat. You don't gotta eat meat. I started eating meat again because because I Suddenly they found out I had a retarded version of thalassemia, so my hemoglobin is whack. And let me tell you, eating meat didn't help anything. And I can't be aware. I can't. That I remember the first time I saw a slaughter. That was horrifying for me because eating a pig is the same as eating a dog. I hate to break it to you. Um, like it's the same as whether you steal $1 or $1 million, you're still stealing. Whether you're eating a living being, and and I I know people that do it very aware, where when they do eat meat, they do it with they know that this animal went through hell to be on their plate, and they give it thanks. And yeah, I can't do it. Can't. No. It's no. Um I did not correct my anemia. I can't correct my thalassemia, it's genetic. But my red blood cell count is actually through the roof, and my hemoglobin is good. I was at transfusion level, and I started taking these supplements. It's Vision Company, and the exact supplements were Nutramax and Antax. Antax is a antioxidant. Nutramax is like body food, superfood. And what they do is any berry or whatever product they're using, whatever food they're using, they freeze dry it in a certain special way. I'm not their member or anything. I just use their products religiously. Um, they freeze dry it in a special way so that you're getting so in one pill there's like 500 berries, and my small intestine is damaged from having gastric bypass. So I was taking at one point 22 pills a day, three different iron drinks, 4 iron pills, and B12 injections 3 times a week, and like a vitamin iron cocktail infusion once a week at work, because my work partner is also a medical worker, um a nurse, um just to be able to function. I can't think of my hemoglobin level in this here. It was like in the low 70s. I don't know that it's the same. I don't think it's the same reference level, because it's not the same. Uh, Here it's not milligrams per liter. It's moles. The measurements are the same, point blank, and my red blood cell count was off, and they were trying to convince me to get blood transfusions, and I don't know, I just instinctively it was like I ain't doing it. It ain't happening. I'm not. It's There's something out there that's gonna help me, and literally my friend, who, if you see the pictures I throw out, like the fractal drawings, she had randomly called me. Yeah, I'm not the kind of person to call you and tell you, hey, I'm sick. I will I will almost be dead before I call anybody for help, because why would I put my problems on somebody else's plate? There's doctors. That's what they're for. And or freaking witch doctors, but there's people that are there to help you for that kind of stuff. And I had told her what's wrong. She's like, "Oh my god, why don't you call my friend Lena? She does these vision things, and she cured my mother of asthma, and she helped my father when he had a stroke. And I don't, I'm not asthmatic anymore since I've been taking her products. I was like, okay. The next day, which was September 23rd, 2018, I went to see Lana, and she told me, you're going to have to stop taking all 20 something of these pills, injections, and everything, and only take this twice a day. And my cousin, he's like, you're fucking crazy. You're going to die. And I was like, at this point, I'd rather die than live like this. As much as I like need to be alive for my kids, but intuitively, I know I'm going to live fucking forever because that's my agreement with God, the higher whatever anybody wants to call him. For me, the higher power, God makes sense. The name is strong enough, let's put it that way. Yeah, I need to live a long time. And within 3 weeks, and my iron level was like zero. Because my small intestine wasn't taking anything in, so, and these infusion, the IVs were not, for whatever reason, like, and the whole reason I'm saying is that's when I ate meat, because they had convinced me that, I need animal fiber, ferritin, and fiber to hold to keep the iron in my body. So I did a experiment with myself after starting to take the Vision products, and I stopped eating meat, and I almost eat no animal product. I'm vegetarian. I'm not vegan. Yeah, you can still be a fat ass and be vegetarian, just so y'all know, because the rest of my family eats normal, and I gotta buy their food first and then food for me, and food everywhere costs, and we eat really well, but we eat lots of bread. Bread is bad. Very bad. And I stopped taking my Vision products for 2 months. 3. My iron level didn't go anywhere. It stayed. So you don't need meat and animal shit for iron and anemia. At least I don't. Other people may, per their doctor. I still ain't killing an animal to be able to ingest. So yeah, anything y'all do, be really aware. Before you open your mouth and say something to somebody, stand on the other person's side and say, they don't look that they feel that great. If these words come out of my mouth, it's possible they may not feel better at all. And if it's somebody, on another side note, if it's somebody that you love or you think you love is unconditional. So no matter what they're doing, you love them. So I do have people. I'm not friends with anybody that can't come into my house. If you're not, I can't say a good enough human being, that's horrifying. If the things you do and the way you are, if they're not in alignment with the things that I want my kids around, you're not walking into this house. It ain't happening. You can walk into my business because I hustle, and I have no problems working with shady people to get work done. And people have called me out on that shit. Listen, I have always found ways in my life to protect my ass and my company. They're usually called contracts, and I have a good legal team that makes sure my contracts are pretty freaking good. And the legal team is all of us reading everything all the time and consulting some of the country's best lawyers that happen to be our friends. Um, and I work with shady people. They're not in my office. They're outside. Thank Jesus. They're they visit our office, but sometimes in order to make the world a better place, you gotta work with the shady people and the government, and you just make sure that you're doing it the right way. In my house, though, shady people don't exist. Shady people may exist within the house, but that's life. But for me, willingly and knowingly to let somebody in the house that shouldn't be there, ain't gonna happen. And some of the people that I've realized that maybe that I turned a blind eye to some of their actions and doings, and they're possibly shadier than what I wanted to see. But that also means that those same things that they're doing, I'm doing somewhere. And I figured a lot of it out. And I stopped doing it because that's not nice. You can't you you can't be a bad human being to people. You can't do bad things and expect good back. So you can't use people even though they're willing to help and they're willing to do things for free or to do anything to make your life better. That's using. You're using and abusing somebody's goodwill. And that makes you a bad human at some level. Maybe not completely, but at some level you are doing something that's not it's not natural. It shouldn't be natural. If it is natural, it should not be natural. And karma's a bitch. And therefore it will come attack you from another side. Not attack you, you get what's coming to you. And I need this time away from people to become aware of my assholeness and to get the fuck away from everything. Like, no joke, a a desert, like deserted island just with like a decent fruit and water supply for like 3 months would be ideal. And to just be with myself and get through all of my demons and all of my shadows and angels and everything and just put it in alignment. And yeah, that goes back to the people that I also have a theory that people that don't have kids, they don't have kids, or that I should say people that want kids but can't have them. Many of them I've found are put here to be the parents of the world. Like, I guess a blessing in disguise. I wanted like 12 kids. I wanted my own soccer team. I lost quite a few. I have 3. And yeah, I ain't gonna have any more. Even if Mr. Magical would walk into my life, you ain't getting any kids from me. Cause unless you make a lot more money than I do, and let me tell you, you gotta hustle. I don't think he's been born yet. He has. I'm just not looking for him right now. Because I have kids. Um Yeah. I'm just gonna lay here and relax and love all y'all from far away. I've been cutting my own hair, and it maybe get cut today. Cause this, I don't know, maybe I'm gonna let it grow. We'll see what happens by tomorrow. So yeah, this is my hour 15-minute video about hibernation. And for all the people that call me out like, oh look, you're hibernating on the net, like I said, if any one of my children ever want to hear my voice, I'm assuming this internet thing's gonna last forever. And I'm gonna be talking for hours and hours while they're asleep, but now they're awake, so I gotta go be with them so they can hear my voice in the now. And maybe somebody out there will actually, maybe I'll help them. That's how I get help. I listen to the people I like to listen to, that I think are doing something right. Anything. Even the ones that are doing something wrong. Because if they're advancing, if they're proud of what they're doing, if they're proud, wrong word, if they are, if they give off the energy of success, that's big. Doesn't mean they're doing good things and nice things, but that's big. And sometimes I listen to the people that I even don't want to be like, just to see what they have to say. You never know where you're going to get information, and everything comes to you for a reason. Yeah, and stop being political assholes. There's not many of you, and most of you probably won't even get to this part of the video. But they can only give us some cash or take it away, or cash is good. Better go find a way to break your back a little bit and think up of some kind of fog to sell. They call it fog. When you do shady, when you're like trying to, when I came here, the only thing I could sell was my knowledge, and my knowledge here I used by selling the English language, and they call that selling fog. Like, if not like as a last straw, but like, I didn't, at that moment I didn't have money to invest into anything. A couple months later I did. I made money, and I invested, and we invested in initially in educating, adult education, and that's what we're actually returning to full time, or trying to right now. But we still have a lot of work with the government to get through, with all these marginalized groups and all that work that we're doing, that we haven't gotten any financing since March of last year. So I'm done. I'm done. I'm done convincing certain people, higher ups, that their methods of help are not effective for this country. Um, and I'm finding out other ways of doing it. I'll get it done. Love y'all. Kisses. And for my kids, y'all better be good to each other and to other people. Be good humans. Everything else will fall into place. Right? Bye.